Testing, 1, 2, there it is.
Oh, hi everybody.
Okay.
We're here.
We're back.
We're back.
We're still getting used to our new mixer over here, so, yeah.
Yeah!
And we're back live again. I know we missed last week. We had a whole bunch of stuff going on with the North Coast Film Camp's first annual event. So we figured we'd just kind of do like a recap update of what's going on and how things are going to be changing in the next few weeks because we're going to be starting classes and all sorts of crazy stuff. So we're just going to be talking at you today, I think, as far as I know.
I think that's the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna I want to talk about how that camp went. Are we gonna watch the videos? Do you want to do that?
We can. Yeah, we totally can. Sure.
Okay. We need to show it off.
They are up on the YouTube page, so if you want to check them out on your own time too, they are there. But we might as well air them so they're up on Access Humboldt and everybody at home can see them there on cable.
Totally.
Pretty cool, exciting. Let me get this ready then. I'm gonna switch something around. So essentially what happened last week is we got together with 10 students that were interested in learning film production stuff and went through sort of a bunch of intro to filmmaking workshops and things in the beginning of the week. Everything from the basics of, what a camera is to how to compose shots and capture audio and all sorts of stuff. It was definitely a crash course. I feel like we could have used...
For all of us.
Yeah. We could definitely have used a whole nother week, probably, for just filming alone.
Definitely.
I know I got kind of like down to the wire there at the last few days. We were rushed to finish these up. And, of course, like everything, we learn from what doesn't work and we keep what does. And so we're definitely planning on doing this again next summer. Not sure the schedule yet, but... it will happen.
I'd say I felt like it mostly worked, too. Like for the most part, it was really great. People learned stuff. People were excited. They were engaged, and they tried really hard, and were invested in their projects, which I was very impressed by.
Yeah, that was good.
It was like a really cool turnout. I had never ran a thing like that before, although I really feel like, Jay, you are the one who was doing the running, but
running in circles, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it was a new experience for me, but I feel a lot more confident about it now. I have all sorts of ideas about new things like that to do.
Yeah. So let me make sure these are working here.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Cory should be able to see them.
Yep.
Let me make sure you guys can hear these. That should have actually came through on, let's see, can you hear them? You're on mix C. I'll bring yours up a little bit. Can you hear that, Cory?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And y'all on the stream should be able to hear it, I believe. We'll be able to tell once we actually get to some dialogue, so. So first one up is repeat that. I gotta change my window here so you can actually see what we're looking at. Too many buttons. There we go. Okay.
We really need like someone opping the stream while you're just like on mic.
Yeah.
That would be handy.
Eventually we'll get there. Hopefully we can get some students interested in this kind of broadcast media. I think it's a lot of fun. The stakes are always fun when you're like, when it's live and you're like, there's a little rush to it when you're trying to troubleshoot as you go. So
it's more of a rush when you succeed
than when you're struggling
fail.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean not you personally, Jay, but in general.
I don't know if we had any like major fails on it. Maybe
No.
there was one time that we like. Had
Oh
to
yeah,
stop early,
we did have to end one of the streams early for like there was something that was going totally wrong. I can't remember what.
Yeah, but so all right. Well, here's the first one. Repeat that by some of our awesome students. So there were 3 teams of 3. And each had sort of a director and a cinematographer and a sound recordist So they each had their own little teams, and then they each acted as well in most of the other productions. So there's a lot of like crossover with who's doing what. I think everybody got a good chance to try out different things, so it was pretty exciting. But that's how we kind of ran into our time restraint. There was that everybody was doing so many different things that it was took up a lot more time than we had expected. So, well, let's watch this one then.
Inside, you will find some highly sensitive information. Memorize it. Once you have, destroy it. Don't let me down. See you soon. B.
Mel, call Mitch. Mel. Mel. Mel! What? Mel. Call Mitch.
Calm yourself, Elliot.
Call Mitch.
It wouldn't kill you to say please. It'll take you like 2 seconds to calm yourself anyways.
You're my assistant.
You don't pay me. I thought this was going to be a fun summer job. And this quote-unquote spy gig would look good on my resume, but all we ever do is sit around the office.
I pay you an experience. Look, do you know what this is?
It's like a Chinese flat.
Yeah, see, no help. Call Mitch, please.
You know what, Elliot? I'm going to take that vacation time you promised me.
Starting now. Wait, Mel, that was a joke. This is an unpaid internship. You don't actually get vacation time on an unpaid internship.
Bye, Elliot.
Hey, Siri, call Mitch.
My web search turned something up for Nintendo Switch. Have a look.
No, Mitch, call Mitch.
I found a few places matching fish a little ways from you.
Siri, call Mitch.
Here are the results for trailer hitches.
Why?
Password?
Fish sticks.
Go ahead.
Hey, it's Elliot.
Oh, hey Elliot, how can I help you?
Yeah, boss sent over some information on this weird donut thingy. I have no idea how to access it.
A donut? What are you talking about?
Hang on, let me send you a picture.
Dude, that's a CD.
A what?
A CD.
What are you seeing?
No, it's like an old-fashioned flash drive from the early 2000s. But why would he send you
I
that?
don't know, maybe because he's like ancient.
Bummer, man.
So how do I access it?
Do you have any old computers laying around?
No, nothing that old.
Good luck with that then.
Mitch, it's your job to make sure this junk works for me.
Sorry, man. I'm working on a new AI bot that can cook me breakfast. I don't really have time to look for a CD player for you.
Mitch, I need your help on this.
Okay, chillax. I'm sure you can just order one off Amazon. Just ask Mel to do it.
Oh no, Mel walked out on me. She said she was using her vacation time.
Listen, man, I gotta go. I can smell something burning in the kitchen. Talk to you later.
Seriously? Oh, okay. Siri, order a CD player.
Playing ICD by New Order on Spotify.
No, Siri, please!
All right. There was the first one.
I love the like song playing like on a phone.
Yeah, that's exactly
for the outro. It
Yeah.
sounds like what it is. Oh man.
That's exactly how we captured it too.
Yep. It's very authentic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think our major hiccup that we had through most of the films was using our new little audio capture device. What's the name of it? It's a
Our recorder, mixer,
yeah,
the Tascam.
the Tascam. Yeah.
We got a Tascam DR70D, which we showed off, I believe, on the stream a couple weeks ago. Really cool unit. But you know, like, sound is one of those things where it's like it's hard to like share the monitoring. You know,
Yeah.
like you know, you can point a camera at something and put it on a display, and everyone can gather around and look at it together. You know, but when you're on set, like you know, it's like I guess we could like drag some speakers out there, but that's not really how that works. You know, and so like. We can check and you know listen and check levels you know as like as mentors or assistants or whatever, but like ultimately it's like it's hard to catch everything that happens, you know. And I wasn't there like running the thing take after take like the students were running. It was great, which they did an awesome job of like miking everything up. But what Jay's talking about is there's a bit of like some there's some like gain staging issues with where that like I think the headphone gain was turned up too high, and then as a result, the mic preamps were set lower than was optimal. So it sounded like we were capturing great audio on set, and when we went in to check it out in post, a bunch of stuff was kind of quiet. So you heard that in that one, there was like a couple lines of dialogue that were a bit quiet, you know, and I think like if we had spent more time editing, which, you know, these were edited in a span of a handful of hours,
Yeah.
or some even less, I think. You know, like that sort of stuff is pretty. It could be better if there was more time spent on the editing. But if we had captured better audio at the beginning, there wouldn't have been the need for it. So it's just one of those things. But as we've said many times, audio is like strangely the hardest part. It seems so simple, but it's not.
Yeah.
I thought that they did a pretty good job. So like a lot of audio, like all that audio in that one is recorded with a single boom mic, right?
Yeah, that one all used the...
That's the boom. So the boom op in that one had a challenge of trying to mic two people on opposite sides of the room with one microphone. It's kind of weird, you know? And so like you can either swing the mic or, you know, rotate it or whatever so it like points. Whichever way. Or you can just kind of split the difference and hope for the best. I'm not sure how it worked out or what they did because I actually wasn't present for those shots. But I thought it worked pretty good, you know, like all things considered. It's a really tricky thing, like you know, like in a real filmmaking situation, I think you'd really want to like get those two people on opposite sides of the room mic'd up separately.
Right, have going two booms or two labs.
I don't know if like two booms is a standard thing or what.
Something.
Two labs, yeah.
Yeah. We did have the labs out. One of these that we'll watch has they used the labs for quite a bit, but of course we ran into the only problem with these the little Rode Go's that we're using is the battery life. And once they're done, they're done. You could like extend it quite a bit if you had like some of those little tiny like battery packs and like USB battery packs. You could probably stick one of those in your pocket and run these things for 20, 40 hours. Like,
which I think we should totally do. Like these packs
Yeah.
are really small. Here, I'll pull mine out.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're
tiny.
they're super tiny. Like
And they still last for
yeah.
hours.
I mean, you know, like a lot of battery banks are like phone sized or whatever. So you know, you can imagine just like.
They
stick
do
this
have
into
those
battery.
little ones that are almost like a
Pen format,
kind of,
yeah.
like a little thicker than a pen, kind of. That would I mean, anything would be, you know, would up the battery life. And they lasted for like, they were probably filming for 2 or 3 hours. And we do at least 2 or 3 streams on a single charge, and that's all 3 of them because there's, you know, the receiver and the 2 transmitters. So. For the most part, they do an awesome job. But yeah, they use the labs, and I thought the dialogue there turned out really good. But They definitely had one actor that spoke a lot louder than the others, so there's also, you know, that when it comes to trying to figure out all your levels and stuff. So, but yeah, let's watch the next one, and we can talk about it. Did you have any other thoughts on that particular film?
I didn't have anything else to say. I was just trying to look up the battery capacity of these transmitters.
Oh.
But what I did find is a $50 charging case
Ah.
that like slots in the 2 transmitters and the receiver and has a built-in battery.
That's nice. They the DJI ones have a charging case that they come with. That's super nice. Yeah.
Dude, I think all these, like, it says that it can charge all these batteries 3 times, and it's a 3,400 milliamp hour battery. Like, it's pretty small.
Mm-hmm.
So you could get some like dinky little bats.
The wireless audio transmission, doesn't ever seem to. It's pretty efficient, pretty battery efficient. So cool. Okay, well, let's watch the next one.
Yeah.
Let me get it set up here. Full screen that. Go back to our other shot here. All right, here we go.
Hey, sis?
Hey, Chris, just give me a second to finish this.
Alright. Hey, what you writing?
I told you can read it when it's finished. Did you finish your exam that fast?
Yeah. And I have this to thank for it.
And what's that?
It's a magic coin.
And what makes you think it's magic?
We'll make a wish. But you have to do it like this.
Did you wish for something just then?
Uh-huh.
And what was it?
Sorry, it doesn't work like that.
And how many wishes do you get?
As many as you want.
Really? Let me see it. Wow, it works real well.
Your wish will come true, Tilly. I promise.
You've got a weird way of encouraging me. It's sweet in its own way.
Thanks, sis. I try my best.
This chapter is dragging on.
You should have wished for your book to be finished then.
What makes you think I did?
Oh, well, congratulations on getting your first book published then.
Chris, you don't have to make fun of me. Stop joking.
Oh, you're that author Tilly, right?
What? I don't have any books published.
I just finished reading your book the other day, The Red Garden, right?
How did you know that?
She still can't believe that it actually got published.
Chris, you know it's not published yet. I haven't even finished.
Okay, here's that vanilla latte on ice for you.
Thank you.
Did you know that girl? You seriously set this up as a joke, didn't you?
No, she's not joking. I have a copy of your book right here.
There's no way.
Read it for yourself.
This is literally impossible.
I told you the coin works.
Give me the coin. I take back all my wishes.
It doesn't work like that.
Then tell me, Chris, how does it work?
At sundown, all of the wishes from the day, they're reset. That includes us.
Us? We should go. You're acting so weird.
It's almost sunset. I might as well tell you.
Tell me what? Knock it off, Chris. Let's go.
Tilly, wait. Ever since I was a kid, I would see my friends and their older siblings. And then I would go home, and there would be no one. So when I found this coin, I wished for someone. I wished for you.
Why are you talking like this? I was there when you were born.
The coin does a really good job of making it all seem so real.
What about all the birthday parties, the family trips, and graduation? Everything we ever did together. None of it ever happened?
All right.
Yeah.
Guess I'll let the credits play here. Cool.
I like that one like got in some like the little like music just like bookending the thing like takes it to a more elevated place. It's really interesting how much work that music does. You know?
Oh yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's and these little cameras always surprise me too. Like when they were filming, because I haven't really tried to do anything particularly creative with these cameras in particular. I mean, we use them all the time. They're the ones we're using for the stream. But like actually taking them into a situation where you're trying to do something more, more cinematic, quote unquote. They actually do a pretty good job with some of the manual settings. They're basic, but they get the job done, and you can really, the main thing is that you can just set them in and they don't change. I mean, that's all you really want. You don't want them to like try to, because they had that bright window behind them that was way overexposed, but that's okay because the characters were perfectly exposed. Like they didn't have any lighting issues. There wasn't anything that was too dark. That's one thing I noticed, that everybody did a really good job with exposing their films.
Yeah. On that note, the other thing about that room that's crazy challenging is that's right on the highway. And like there was so much road noise, but I thought that like I don't know how much of it is down to people being smart about mic positioning and how much of it is just luck, but I'm surprised at how well that turned out. Like with I was expecting it to be way more challenging than it seemed like it was.
I think one little thing that we noticed in the beginning, you guys probably heard it, was the rustling. They were using these labs, and you can see that these labs have little like windscreens on them. If those go under your clothes, they're what rustles. So you can take them off. I put them on just because, we don't really need them in here. I could take it off, and it's not like a big deal.
All right, I'll take it off.
You can't tell. It doesn't really make that big. It's if we're outside or whatever, then. But like if I had this under my clothes, I want to take it off because that just like is like abrasive and rubs on whatever. So that was what the noise was. So later on we were listening and we were like, oh, that's making a lot of noise. So we should probably take those off, and that helped with the quality of the dialogue there. And of course, you've got two people that talk at different levels. You have to make sure your levels are correct and all that sort of stuff. So, but yeah, I thought they did a really great job. That was definitely a good execution of a lot of the techniques.
Yeah, cool effect shot.
Yeah,
I like that
cool
one.
Little effects. Yeah,
totally.
yeah. So awesome. All right, last one. Let's get in it there. Let's switch around. Here we go. Full screen that. Okie doke. Here we go.
This meal is simply delectable. It's most unfortunate your daughter couldn't join us.
She fell ill just as we were setting plates for the evening.
I may check in with her after the meal, if that seems appropriate.
She requested not to be disturbed. More wine before you go?
Has a date been set for the wedding yet?
Not as of yet. Your daughter seems quite adamant about avoiding me.
You can't blame the girl. One's first wedding is always unnerving.
So much so that she misses this beautiful full meal you've prepared for us. Her favorite, nonetheless.
She'll come too. I'm sure of it.
Short and sweet.
Yeah.
That one was kind of the capstone of the whole project. I think that was the quickest I'd ever seen anybody put together a film before.
Yeah, they really cranked it out.
Yeah, it was great though. It was. I think they did some really creative shots in there.
Yeah, I like the handheld stuff is, you know, obviously like with some sort of like stabilization would be even better, but like with the tools that they had, it's really cool.
Yeah, I think one thing on that one too with the audio again is like, especially if you're this particular one, they had used just the mics on the cameras. The issue you run into is handling noise.
Yes.
And there was a lot of handling noise in like the beginnings and the ends of the cuts. So like giving yourself some time, especially like as you're ending a shot, giving yourself a little bit of padding before you stop the recording. Like if you get a good take and you just hit the button, that's gonna pick up on every like.
Okay. Yeah.
That's that.
So that's why the pacing of that feels a little rushed.
Yeah, because
the shots
chopped off at the end,
so they had to make that choice. Okay, cool. Because I was going to comment about that. I was like, oh yeah, like the one one thing that sticks out to me visually with that one is that I guess it's more about the pacing of the whole thing. Is that it feels like pretty like choppy,
right?
Like it's just like the scenes just need like one, like maybe even like a half a beat.
Something to breathe.
You guys know this term in like film and theater. There's the beat. People talk about beats like we talk about in music, but it means something very similar. But it's much more ambiguous, right? Like a beat is like a defined, measurable to the millisecond amount of time in music. But in generally, but in film or theater, it's just like a vague unit of pacing.
Yeah. And you use it all the time in screenwriting. Like,
totally.
It's pretty common. You like have a line of dialogue. You're like, Joe says, "I'm going to the coffee shop." Beat. There's some time in there. Do you want to come? He's like, there's that kind of like, give it some room to breathe. You know?
So like the delivery, the acting, and it's true of like obviously with the camera work too. Like there's a musicality to the timing of that stuff where like this natural phrasing of conversation where like things are,
we're like, but you just did it right there. We're like beat, and then you go on to your next thing. You're like thinking, if you were to like take a record, that might actually be a fun thing for the screenwriting class. Have them like record a conversation, like try to record something in class and then write it as a script.
Oh yeah, that's really interesting.
Huh.
That would be super interesting.
It'd be a good.
I'm sorry, I thought you were gonna suggest that they like record something with way too long of beats and try to edit it down to the amount of beats, and I'm having I'm having PTSD about the audiobook.
Yeah. No, like write it out as if how would you like take one of Cory and I's streams and then like write it as a script and see how it looks on paper, because like writing dialogue is so difficult to get it like accurate. Like who knows, like we could be acting right now and have a script and we're reading off that script, but we're not, but we could be if we're good actors.
Totally. Right, yeah. So it's like a thing about like good acting, right, is that it's like not only is it like delivered in a way that feels natural in terms of tone and like the way it's presented or whatever, but it's like those conversations flow in a way. When Jay and I are talking, the conversation flows in a way that's very different than if we were scripted and weren't actually formulating responses and like knew how the person was going to respond to whatever we said. So like it's an interesting thing. Having really no acting experience, like I am not like, oh, here's how you get around that. But like as a lay person who watches actors, I'm like, oh, I see when that's happening, when that's not happening, It's much easier to be a critic than it is to be a creator.
That was a hard course to teach. I'd love to get some like film actors involved next year.
To like really like express that. It's a very specific skill. Like that was cool that we had like some stage actors with film experience, but like it was like mostly, around here it's like the opportunities are on the stage more than on film, and so there are more stage actors
and to
here.
really work with them like through a scene or something, to really show some.
That'd be super cool.
We did a little bit about like giving. I think one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard is giving your actors something to do while they're talking. Like right now, like I'm not just sitting here like blank stare into the camera. Like I'm messing with volumes. I'm like, checking things on the stream. I'm doing something, even though I'm not acting right now. If I was acting, I would be doing those things to portray then I'm doing this thing. So like,
Right.
you know, if you give your actor a, you know, say like that's why in Coin, you know, I'd said like make sure that like she's writing all the time. She's got a pen in her hand. Tilly, the character that's writing her book, you know, she's doing something in that scene the whole time. So like, you know, those little things can give your actors something to do. That way they feel like they're not just sort of projecting you know, they're not just acting, they're performing. Right. So
yeah.
Even if they're not necessarily on screen. Like you guys can't see what I'm doing down here. Like there's a keyboard, there's a mixer over here, but I'm still like moving around a little bit to do those things.
Totally. I'm just fidgeting. I don't have anything to do really up here. I do have a thing I can do, but it's gonna mess with the...
Oh yeah. So yeah.
Can you pull our... I'm still seeing the dead video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, totally.
It's one more challenging thing. You really need a third display in there that is this display.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might end up splitting. I have got a third monitor in here that I'm not using at the moment, so I might just split that so that that's always the display here. Before I was using that as a separate computer and then capturing it, which worked fine because then I could keep this up. But yeah, you need three almost to do all the stuff that we're trying to do. So yeah, you want to talk about the cool little thing? We're gonna go into like a little tour, I guess, and talk about some cool stuff.
So we figured we'd show off what was happening around here because not only did we just do this like film camp stuff, but we've been like super busy in here making stuff happen. Mostly Jay. Again, I don't know where I've been all summer. Jay's been working so hard. It's really amazing what you've accomplished in the last few months, dude. Yeah, we're gonna show off some like fun stuff and give a little bit of a studio tour. But I guess we can kick off the studio tour.
What did you do with your camera, Cory? Oh, it's so bright over there. Hold on, let me switch to your full screen. Oh, you just see the top of my head.
So Jay pulled out a fun toy. So we've got my cam right now is on a gimbal.
Hold on, let me switch to the full. All right, there you go.
Yeah, so this cam's on a gimbal, and we have my Xbox controller connected to Jay's phone, routed to the gimbal app. But now I have.
It should still be. Is it still working? Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I have pan and roll control, which is kind of crazy. I guess there's situations in which you want this.
I'm actually surprised that we managed to get it to work, even though it's connected to has a wire on it.
Yeah. So this is so wild to me. So this is Bluetooth to Jay's phone, and then Jay's phone is Bluetooth connected to this gimbal, and it's pretty seamless. So left joystick controls pan and like tilt here. What do you call this? Is that tilt?
Yes.
I'm thinking like aircraft turns, right? So this is like roll.
Roll. Yeah, it is like
and
an
then
aircraft.
Like, is this yaw? And then pitch is up and down, right? Pitch, yaw, and roll.
Roll. Yeah. But yeah, pan.
Used to play a lot of TIE Fighter back in the day.
Pan and tilt left and right. Yeah. Why is this?
Yeah. So, anyways, this is super fun. So the gimbal does a bunch of different things. Like the main thing it does is that it like provides stabilization, like so like your image stabilization. So you can hold it in your hand and it'll like keep the thing steady. But when it's tripod mounted, you get remote control, which is super cool. If you have the right kind of camera connected to it as well, sorry, I know this is really distracting, but I'm having a good time. If you have the correct camera hooked up to it, it'll even do zoom as well, although these cheap camcorders don't do that. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I wish I could be like, oh, here's like the amazing use case for this. But I think it's just kind of a fun tech. Jay's gonna get his little phone camera set up, and you can kind of see what this unit actually looks like. And then we're gonna give you a tour of what's going on behind this wall, which is very different looking, I think, than last time you saw it.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we showed the lab off.
Yeah, there's definitely some new stuff going on in there. So I'm just gonna keep rolling this camera.
Oh, I thought, what did I just do?
So I'm used. Oh, well, it really happily jumps back. Yeah, so it's cool. So it has like a center position that I can snap back to, which would be a lot more useful if it was like centered on me. But we didn't set it up that way.
There we go. I'll give you guys a little
Hey, picture, picture, picture.
picture in picture here. I'll make it a little bit bigger. Okay, cool. All right, let me walk away here. So it's going to look a little bit crazy, but you know, y'all are used to the desk here. My white balance on this thing is like really off. But yeah, this we were talking about on the screen over here. Then here's a phone that's got the DJI app going for the controller so that Cory can control it. It's actually sitting in here. So the Bluetooth controller is hooked up to the Bluetooth on the phone and also the Bluetooth on the gimbal over here. So here's, of course, all the cables as usual. And there's, oh, yeah, you can actually see me. Hello.
Hi.
From a different angle. It's like a little robot.
It really feels like a little cute little robot right now.
Yeah. So you can see that Cory can roll it and pan and tilt and do all sorts of cool stuff.
Oh, I just lost connection.
Nope. Well,
I wonder if it like I wonder if it's like a bandwidth thing. Do you know?
I don't know. It should
like
be
if you're broadcasting from your phone.
critically low gimbal battery.
Well, that would explain it.
I don't.
Let's center it back and see.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get it pointed back in before it dies.
I can lock. I'm surprised that it wouldn't load that quick because it was at like 40-something%.
I was wiggling it. I was moving it a lot.
Yeah, maybe the more you motor it. But.
Yeah, I imagine that like if you have the motor running the whole time, it's less efficient. The thing's super cool though.
Yeah,
hey,
it's also got a joystick back here, so I could like.
Oh my gosh.
Control it from here. You can do all sorts of different modes and focusing. Maybe one day we'll do more in-depth thing with a different camera on here because I have my other Panasonic camera. You can use these buttons down here to start and stop recording and focus and everything like that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's super useful. This is a Ronin SC, so I don't know if it's like super compact or something they call it. There's a bigger one that has, you know, obviously depending on the weight, you have to balance it and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, that's
this other camera that's up here is not even on. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah.
Just to be clear, that if you were wondering why there's two cameras,
we were like last minute. We're like, hey, let's hook up the gimbal to the controller.
So Jay chucked it on the gimbal just to see what would happen because we have I think 7 of these camcorders now.
Right. Yeah.
Which is awesome. It was so great for the film things. Like you could have as many, you know, if you needed a multicam thing or just wanted multiple people having the experience of filming, you can totally do that, which is super cool.
Yeah.
I like this like multi-cam scenario. Fun.
Different angles.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we go over this way, so if we walk kind of into the, it's kind of a mess. Let's see if I can clean this up here.
Yeah, we had some VR stuff running earlier. But yeah, this is the MARZ computer lab.
Might need some light. Let me turn the light on.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what we've been working on. This was the lab before.
The soils lab, right?
Soil lab, whatever chemical testing they did.
Whatever.
Of course, it's kind of a mess because we had some VR happening.
Yeah, but you get the idea. Yeah. So we got the 5 student stations, and Jay's sitting here at like the teacher station.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 computers that we can have people doing stuff on, and that teacher station has a Focusrite audio interface right there, just like similar to the one we normally use on the stream. Running cabling under the countertops to those speakers at the end there. And then the projector can either mirror or extend the display of that computer.
We don't need to play VR right now. I want to close it.
But yeah, it's been great. We were watching music videos today and playing games on there, and it's just awesome. Oh yeah, and so we got our like old Mackie speakers hooked up. That one that Jay's pointing it at died, or I thought it died. It stopped working right a while back, and I hooked it up today just to see what would happen, just to try and explain what was wrong with it to somebody, and it works again. So hooray! I really love those speakers. The Mackie HR824, I believe they're the Mark 1s.
They say on here.
HR824. I think there's a Mark II now. It's pretty different looking design.
They look nice. They're quite a bit bigger than the other ones we had hooked up.
Yeah, the 8-inch woofers. They're really expensive. They're strangely expensive. Those things cost about twice as much as the Yamahas. I like them. I don't like them twice as much as the Yamahas, but they're good. Yeah, these computers are sweet too. Not only do they look cool and all slick with their under desk mounting, but they're quite capable, which is great. What do you got in there? What GPUs? Do you remember? The specs in there?
These have the
1650s?
I think they're the 1650s, yeah. They don't say on the side, but...
Like the laptops, right?
Yeah, they're very much like the laptops.
But I imagine, like, this is something I don't know because I'm like not so much of a PC builder guy. The equivalent like card in a laptop form factor, is it less powerful? Or does it like throttle faster or anything like that, do you know?
Yeah.
I would assume that it like isn't as functional.
I think the mobile versions are a little more like, they don't use as much power and therefore they may not have as much, you know, they may be throttled a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, this is kind of how it's like I said, it's kind of a mess in here, but,
Yeah. But you get the
we're
idea.
gonna get a screen up back on this back wall. I tried something else and it didn't work, it fell down.
That's just gray painted cinder blocks.
At the moment.
At the moment. But, you know, it works all right. Yeah, once you get a little closer, you can see it.
Yeah, you can really see it.
Yeah. But you know, it's fine. It's not a great it doesn't look great for critically viewing like video, but for displaying stuff, it's cool.
Next is going to be carpet. We have it ordered. It's in the mail, so so you can see where the cabinets were before.
And
on both sides.
Where they painted the floor and where they didn't.
Yeah. So, and then I was switching out some of the lights for LED lights, but you can see where they actually didn't paint the ceiling right here. So, I tried to paint it over here, but it's not actually white. It's something else. So, maybe one day I'll get to paint the ceiling.
We're less concerned about the matching beautiful colors of the ceiling, but that's like lower on a list of priorities.
So there'll be nice kind of industrial carpet in here, kind of lighting up to the edge,
which you can hear Jay's voice bouncing around in there right now.
Oh, can you?
Like I can totally hear
it.
Yeah. And so like I think it's going to sound like dramatically better when that carpet's there.
So I ordered enough to do this room as well.
Oh yeah.
So it will line up essentially because right now we have this patch of carpet,
nice.
And so it's going to go all the way across to this other end. It's going to look like 10 times better in here, and nice. We'll be able to switch our streaming setup because right now we're facing, got the wall going that way. We'll be able to flip around and put Cory up against that wall. Although we do have to figure out something about the curtaining, so I may actually end up taking that one behind you down.
Yeah, just putting it over there.
Yeah, because it is very clearly a different color than, it is not as black as the curtains behind you, and this one that's in here. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit lighter. Totally. That or it's just glossy. So
yeah, it's like I think it's like the gloss.
Plus, it never seemed to. It's been hanging up there for a long time, and it has not de-wrinkled.
Dude, we gotta just like steam the room or something.
With all the equipment in here.
Yeah, I'd totally be great for it.
Cool.
Give your electronics a steam bath every once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. Let me go turn this light off in here. But these LED lights are super easy to install, and they sound loads better.
Yeah, gosh, the oppressive like sound of the like fluorescent ballasts.
Oh, yeah. We got a lot to change out too.
Yeah.
At some point.
I don't know when we're gonna do that, but it'll happen. I think we'll power through it some weekend.
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool. Yeah, but like it's all functional. The one thing that like didn't work out yet is like the server backend stuff.
Oh yeah, that was
which we have like our internet infrastructure is so much better than it was, and like this is all networked. The networking stuff is all happening. It's all working great. But the one thing, is there still a picture-in-picture?
Yeah, I accidentally. There we go. It should be gone.
That's good. The one thing that we didn't get is like user accounts on the server, which we were hoping to do, but like I'm not convinced that wasn't going to be like a little bit more effort than we wanted to spend like maintaining it anyways. So we'll have to figure out another solution for that. I think we'll just have like a server storage for student work.
Something.
Because right now it's just like if you come to MARZ and you save something on a computer, that sits on that computer. You can do something with it. You can upload it to the Google Drive or put it on a thumb drive or whatever. I would encourage everyone to do that.
Definitely.
But we'll keep the work on the computers. We'll like collect it. Like this drive has a bunch of student work on it right now, which needs to go get backed up on a more stable drive. But you know, like we have these like backups on like external hard drives, and if those fail, they're gone. Like we don't, you know. Whereas the server is a nice RAID configuration, and like it's actually a good place to like long-term store data. So I want to like consolidate the archives and move them there, and then also get active student work there too, in a redundant way, which is so that you can like grab a file from the server, put it on the computer, edit it, and then bring it back to the server and overwrite your copy there. And like, that'll be like a really sweet workflow for people.
It'd be nice.
And like encourage give people something actionable to do about managing their own files, you know? Because we're always like, oh, you should probably like do something responsible about backing up your files, and like people don't, like because like that's not the fun part. No, you know, like
even if we give you guys USB thumb drive.
You try giving away, people just lose them. Whatever, you know, like it's fine. Like like I'm a creative person, and I like file management is like not my favorite part. But like, you know, like Jay and I are special kinds of nerds when we like to talk about it. We're like, oh yeah, these files are gonna be so well managed. Like it's kind of exciting in a weird way, because when that stuff works well and you have a good workflow, you stop having to think about it and you start focusing on doing fun things instead. And like that's the whole goal of this, is to make it streamlined and easier for people to sit down at a computer and do something fun. It's working great. What's going on in there, dude?
Oh, I'm just like messing with the signal level here.
Oh, yeah.
I guess there isn't a way to go lower. I was like trying to adjust gain a little bit.
Lower on what?
On your voice.
Oh, like I'm coming in pretty hot?
For a second there, I think I fixed it.
I'm a loud guy.
Nah, it's all right.
Yeah, you should.
I can actually get myself up to your level better now, but of course then it introduces all the noise in this room, like my computer that I can definitely hear, and everything else. So,
I wonder how I'm just having a funny thought. Like how much of it is just like me being maybe naturally just kind of a louder person, and how much of it is me like having like a fair amount of like performance experience where I'm kind of putting on a stage voice a little bit, you know, right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It definitely comes in. I don't have to like totally crazy crank up the volume too much. But this definitely gives me more options. I can
right, because you have like a lot of gain on top of the gain before you hit the faders, right?
Oh yeah, lots more.
So is my channel like gain down really far?
I don't actually think that I can take this down any further than.
Oh, it's like all the way down?
Yeah, I think that all the way down, it's only like... Oh, I wonder if this has to do with being on the High-Z channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. High-Z is for guitars.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, I had this experience. I was having some weird sound the other day, and it was because I was on a High-Z thing. It has High-Z instead of line. I'm gonna do a really. I feel like I just had this. Did we just do this on the stream recently? I'm gonna say it again.
Oh. Yeah.
I feel like I explained this recently. I'm not gonna explain it well because there's a bunch of like actual like electrical like physics concepts and electrical engineering concepts wrapped up in this. But basically, electrical signals, right? There's like I forget how the formula goes, but like the factors, right? There's like voltage, like amperage, and like impedance, right? Are like the three factors. And so impedance is like the resistance of like a system. If you think about like, gosh, we should do a full explainer about this someday, because like this is a really cool and interesting subject that you should know about, or I should know about anyways. Line. So the three signal levels, right? Mic, line, and High-Z. Mic levels are the quietest and require the most amplification. Line levels are quite a bit louder, and then High-Z levels are I think it's like, I forget if they're more like line or more like mic, but the difference is that they expect a much higher impedance from like it's set up to receive a higher impedance. So like the way guitar pickups work is like very different than the way other things work. Is basically the gist of it. From a practical perspective, gosh, I really need to like read about how to explain this and learn how to explain this well. I'm going to be teaching a class about this subject like this year. gotta be able to explain this one to them. Oh boy, I got a lot of homework to do. But yeah, that's a guitar input.
Okay. I mean, it seems to work fine for a dialogue. Like, it sounds fine. It's just like
it would probably sound more fine, and you probably have a more useful range of gain control
on the other ones.
On a line input.
Okay.
Yeah, and that would be a totally interesting thing to A/B. You can try it right now.
So what then is the, like, if these are high Z, what, I mean, besides the guitar, they're not useless, right? They work fine for this, but.
Are they high Z only, or is it switchable?
I don't think so. Oh, no, it's switchable, actually. No, okay, so this should be normal. Maybe these are just coming in really hot.
Yeah.
And it's...
So it's pretty common that they're switchable.
Yeah, it is.
Right, because like on a board like that, because you have like, I forget,
Okay,
I'm not looking at the thing right now. Does it have combo ins, or is it like...
Yeah, they're all combos.
Okay, yeah. So like, generally with stuff like that, the XLR comes in, is a mic level signal, and then the TS/TRS input is switchable line high Z.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so it should just be standard. It has different gain levels on the gain knob. Like,
oh yeah. So there's like two different levels written there, right?
Yeah,
that's like
plus 6 or plus 16, and then 60 plus 50 next to each other.
60 plus 50.
Yeah. 16 plus 50, or no. Yeah, so there's a plus 6 here. Actually, I'll just show you.
Yeah, show me. I think it's not a minus something to plus something. So there should be so what I'm thinking is like there's two different ranges from like the lowest level of gain to the highest level, which is often negative. So it could be like minus, like I see a lot like on the Mackie boards, they have 60 dB of gain, but it starts at minus 10, so you can bring it down 10 dB or up 50. So it's really 50 dB of gain and like 10 dB of negative gain.
Where's my source here?
I could probably just like pull up an image of it on my computer too. Zoom L12.
Hello.
What do you look like? I'm about to barge in there and check out what this meter says. But anyways, yeah. So those are when the gain knobs. It's really common for having them like look like that. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, totally. So these are the gain.
I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys.
It's the gain ranges on the mic and line inputs versus the high Z inputs, and you can see there it's indicating that with the high Z's on a white background, and so the numbers that are on the white background are for the high Z input. So you'll notice that the mic/line input. The labs were coming hotter because they're a line level signal. But anyways, the thing I noticed that was interesting about this was that the gain levels of the high Z inputs are really different. they are +6 to +50. So it's 10 dB quieter, or yes.
Or is it it's not the opposite?
10 dB less gain, right? But like, you know, however it comes out is different. However, if you check out the other channels, so channels 1 and 2 have a switchable high Z. The rest of them instead have a switchable pad, and their gain structures are different. And so I think that's like, I think what it's showing you there, it's just showing you what the pad does. So like, instead of showing you those alternate values, it would actually be way more helpful to just tell you that it's a 26 decibel pad.
Right.
Right. So you smack that button and it drops 26 dB. So if you're finding that you can't, like, that even at like the lowest level that my mic is too loud, that's where you want the pad engaged. And so when you hit the pad, then you have a more usable range of gain on the gain knob. That's what that's for.
Oh, there goes the gimbal.
It
just died.
I think my controller just disconnected actually, which maybe I'm not sure if it died or if my connection just died.
It looked like the gimbal died.
Yeah, it seems to be
up.
It seems to be in some kind of resting gimbal state,
yeah.
Which is perfect timing because it's almost 6 o'clock and we got to go.
Yeah. All right.
Thanks for listening to this rambling discussion. We solved some problems. We learned some things. We hope you did too. See you later.
Yep. See y'all later.
Goodbye.